This week we've been talking about following the call of God, and I want to encourage you to read one of the best known Psalms, probably one of the best known passages in the Bible, the 23rd Psalm, which begins with those familiar words, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." And then what does the rest of that psalm describe? Well, it describes a journey, right? Answering the call, as Bill and Ann Clemmer shared about on Sunday, and how we won't lack for anything. And it's about how God leads us, right? And God leads us beside still waters, and how God restores our soul. And interestingly, how God even prepares a table for us in the presence of our enemies. It's interesting to me that the 23rd Psalm doesn't say God will remove our enemies or destroy our enemies or kill our enemies. And, sometimes enemies can be, in the case of war, an actual living human opponent. But at other times, the enemies that we wrestle with or face or battle with may be actually inside of us. And we can struggle with the enemies of anxiety and worry and fear and apprehension or addiction or a host of other things. And Jesus, the Lord, I should say, but I think of Jesus as my shepherd. But the Lord is there with us in the presence of our enemies, sustaining us so that we can go on. And the 23rd Psalm also reminds us that answering the call of God doesn't exempt us from hardship and suffering. That even though we walk through the darkest valley or the valley of the shadow of death, even there, right, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. And so God is with us, even when we're in those dark valley seasons and times in our life. Interestingly, even as I'm recording this video today, I have a number of people who have been reaching out to me in the last few days who are struggling with depression and anxiety and hopelessness. And, as I shared with one of them, there's no shame in feeling depressed. There's no shame in being afraid with all the things that are going on in any individual's life and in the world today. But what an assurance we have that the 23rd Psalm tells us that no matter what's going on, whether we have enemies, whether we're struggling with death or grief or loss or diminishment, that the Lord is with us. And the most important thing we can do is just faithfully keep following God every single day of our life. And as Psalm 23 ends with that great affirmation of faith, right, that I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And after goodness and mercy, follow me, God's goodness and mercy. And I pray that today, God's goodness and mercy would be very real to you, as well as the comfort of God if you're grieving or hurting. And I pray that you would just be faithful in following the Lord's call one more day.